This video has two purposes. The first is to help you to decide whether or not to go on the Fun for Less tour called European Romance. And the second is to prepare you for the trip if you do decide to go on it. Let's start with a disclaimer. I have no association whatsoever with Fun for Less other than being a client on this one particular tour. All of the photos and video were taken by me and represent only one person's view. In between comments that might help you prepare for the trip if you do decide to go will be some images of our 2013 tour, which went to 7 countries in 15 days. Beginning in the Netherlands, we then went to Belgium, France, Switzerland, Austria, and Liechtenstein, and ended in Germany. If you find these images compelling, believe me when I say they don't do the experience justice. The culture, the wonderful tour guides, the history, the beauty, the friends you make, the knowledge you gain, the fabulous food you eat, the new designs and ways of doing things, it is just absolutely amazing. Basically, Fun for Less takes care of everything. You buy no tickets. They purchase most everything in advance, so you're not standing in line much. The exception is for breakfast and restrooms. All of your transportation, except by foot, is paid for. Let me state you do need to be able to walk, with some city tours going quite a few blocks. The guides are very knowledgeable and for the most part very likable. The variety between ancient and modern, art and history, mountains and lakes, cathedrals, castles, and museums is mind-blowing. In our case, we had Jeff Lawson and his wife Marie as our start-to-finish tour guides. As a retired history teacher, Jeff's comments about European history were spot-on relevant and have stuck with me. Between these two wonderful guides and their assistant Julie, we were never in doubt about our itinerary or what was in store for us, except for the occasional surprise they had planned for us, and they were pretty good about keeping those secret until the very last moment. Before you go, Fun for Less sends you a packet with all the information you need, including yarn that you attach to your suitcase. In our case, there were 2 buses, and so each bag had either yellow yarn for the yellow bus or blue yarn for the blue bus. Other than when we took the high-speed train out of Paris, your luggage stays with your bus. The drivers were both from Belgium. Both spoke English, and wow, could they drive amazingly well. Our bus had video screens where we could, for instance, watch a video about Versailles while we were on our way there. It also had a storage area built right into the dashboard, which the driver kept stocked with bottled water, available for a small fee, which also helped pay for the ice it was sitting in. And yes, there is a restroom on the bus. I never really used it as it was pretty small, but then again, it is free. And overhead, there is a small shelf that will fit small backpacks and jackets and such. I mentioned that the restroom on the bus was free. Our bus driver shared with us that as a boy growing up in Belgium, he never went anywhere without some coins in his pocket in case he needed to use the bathroom. You get used to the idea pretty quickly that in many of the countries you visit, you have to pay to use their restrooms. Even at the highway rest stops, someone was there to accept your coin for the use of the facility. I took photos of the free public toilets because they were so welcome when we found them. We were issued Whisper Perfect receivers, and we brought along our own headphones to use with them. The tour guides made great use of them. Whether on the bus or in a castle or cathedral, you could always hear the guide. Or in my case, if I was busy taking photographs and I suddenly couldn't hear the guide, it meant I better catch up with the group. The receiver is small and battery operated and can be programmed for different channels so that each group can hear the tour guide assigned to their group. We had a huge, beautiful, colorful booklet that they gave us at the start of the trip that detailed the history, culture, food, and facts about each of our destinations. We could read these either on the bus or at our hotels in the evening. We followed Fun for Less's recommendation and got local currency before we left the U.S., but be assured you can use the ATMs most anywhere. I had forgotten how colorful the money is in Europe. Be prepared, by the way, not to use paper money for anything under 10 euros or francs. The coin of the realm in Europe really is the coin. All of our hotels, with one exception in Lucerne that they just couldn't work around that particular trip, were everything you could want as far as comfort, terrific breakfasts, and in many cases, fabulous views. Just take the electrical converter with you that converts the two rectangular US prongs into round ones, and you'll be okay for all your electronic devices. But in Switzerland, you'll need the converter which most of the hotels supply, that piggybacks to change the two round prongs into three. 3 personal suggestions. I agree with Rick Steves when he says that no one ever wished they had packed heavier. My wife and I each took one carry-on suitcase that fit in the airline's overhead compartment. She had a small lockable backpack and I had a Scotty vest. We laundered our clothes on the first night of our 2-night stays at the hotels, and the clothes were clean and dry when we left 2 days later. Our tour guides said they wished everyone would do likewise, as fitting luggage into the buses is a major hassle. Check out the Scotty Vest at scottyvest.com. I did not have to pay a baggage fee, and thus their travel vest paid for itself. I carried everything except my camera itself in its 24 hidden pockets and compartments. I highly recommend this wonderful piece of luggage. Part of the fun of travel is discovery. Don't hesitate to explore a little on your own, when you won't hold up the rest of the group. You never know what you might find. My wife and I felt the not on the official tour graveyard and cathedral and Oberammergau were every bit as wonderful as some of the more well-known sites we visited. It was great that they gave us some time to not only unwind, but to explore. If this video has you thinking about going, then do it. And does this Fun for Less European romance trip live up to its name? Was it fun? Yes. Was it romantic? You'll just have to find out for yourselves.